I want to make this video to respond to one of the most common questions that I get studio assessment call with the dance studio owner, and that is, when is the best time to start? To answer this question, I think there's two variables that are going to be really important to understand. Is number one, the seasonality of enrollments and the scenarios that a dance studio typically falls into throughout the year. And the second thing is going to be economics and understanding the math of where growth can be leveraged the best. So let's start by talking about seasonality. Here's what a dance studio season can look like when marketing isn't really happening, or there's no really reliable traffic source where parents are inquiring every single month. So there's peaks and valleys. The peaks, don't need to convince anyone that back to school is the ideal peak for a dance studio, because this is where students are committing and beginning for the full term of a program. That's the ideal scenario. A seasonal based studio, if you're a year-round studio, you may not feel this as much. And we typically see that year-round studios don't feel this. But for most, this is kind of the pattern they fall into. And so in the fall, you get a big boost of students and fall feels full. Revenue's good, you can pay the bills, you can pay the staff, you're taking a little bit home, ideally. But then the common thing that I hear from many people is a situation around summer, and that is right here. Summer just feels like the Wild West. It feels like you're barely surviving. Many are just relying on their company teams or their competition teams that are required to take classes throughout the year, and that's really the only guaranteed income that they experience. And they wonder, where did all the kids go? Where are they? And so I want to kind of answer a little bit of that question, because in the peak seasons, it's really easy to say, hey, let's market because we got growth, we got revenue, we got students for this. But what happens situationally, January hits, summer recital is around the corner. Teachers want to start practicing choreography with the students. Parents are being asked to start committing to recital and costume fees. And then this is where it's like, okay, we're closing enrollment. And that is a huge detriment to the growth. It often happens for studios that close enrollment and they don't have a marketing system is we start to head into the valley. When all marketing efforts stop, I honestly see dance studios close and stop all enrollment efforts for a good 2 to 4 months in that time of year. And when that stops, you stop getting in front of new parents, you stop pushing the next season. Or another obstacle is like, we don't know what kind of interest we're gonna have in the summer, and we're not getting our teacher commitment, we don't know what we're offering yet. There's a lot of delay in decision making and delay and lack of enrollment efforts that are happening, which are going to contribute to the valley that you fall into. And so this is the hardest time of year as a studio owner to psychologically commit to growing, but it's also the time of year that imagine what an additional 2 to 4 months of marketing are going to do in advance of your summer program. Do you think that if every day you're putting your summer programs out there to new parents on a daily basis, more people know about you? There's a lot of people in your communities that just frankly don't know you exist. It could be their commute routes they never pass you, or your dance studio is in a disadvantageous location. And so you got to show up online. And that's the number one thing. And so our clients at DMM, we really encourage them to start launching their summer in January, giving them ample runway to promote and build an interest list. And that way, this gets smoothed over and it's not as much of a sinking feeling or survival. And the best offer at this time of year is really going to be summer sessions. Now, to make sure marketing efforts pay for themselves, the second thing we need to understand is the economics. So we just talked about seasonality, situationally. The second thing is the economics. Who are you marketing to and where is the revenue coming from, right? So that's where we're going to look at this little graph here. So at this point, we have managed over $1.5 million of advertising. That's just straight money into Facebook, Instagram to put dance studio offers in front of parents, over $1.5 million. When every time I say that out loud, it doesn't get old. Like, that is like mind-boggling to me over the last 5 years. And so we have accumulated a lot of data to help understand where are you going to get the best return on the advertising spend. And we have found this. So number one, the biggest bang for your return is going to be ages 2 to 5. There is an abundance of preschool kids. Parents continue to have babies, and this is like those early child development years where it's very informative, and they're looking for those early extracurricular activities for their kids to develop gross motor skills, start kind of school readiness, socialization. That is just a huge market that your dance studio programs meet the demands for that age group. And so I don't care what you think about running those classes or staffing them. If you want to have a healthy business, you got to have options for this ages 2 to 5. And you got to be willing to figure out how to make it work if you want to have a healthy business. The second is going to be kind of like your elementary, middle school ages. So we're talking about like ages 6 to 10. Kids at this age, they still a lot of great opportunity for them to find their fit, find the program that's good for them. And it's not too late, as a dancer to kind of start in these early young years. Still really good beginner entry level programs there. Then when we get to ages 13 and plus, that is where we actually have a down arrow. That's where money gets lost. I've lost count of how much money we have lost trying to promote summer intensives, skill workshops, dance studios who just don't take our advice that it's a waste of money. And we're like, all right, just go see for yourself. But every single time that just ends up bleeding money. And the reason is twofold. Number one, think about population. How many preschool kids are out there in your communities compared to how many teens with experience are out there in your communities? The smallest fraction of what's available. And so you're paying a premium to reach a very small audience of people. Part number two is, at this point, as they get older, they have skills. Either they're already at a dance studio that they like, they already have friends, and they're older, and so their parents are gonna have less influence over the decision that they make. Versus a preschooler, you talk to mom, they're gonna sign that kid up no matter what they say about it. And then the third thing too is you're gonna spend money, you're just not gonna get the enrollments on the back end for that. And so if you're trying to get by in the summer by marketing your summer intensives, your skill workshops, you're gonna waste a lot of money, and you're gonna have that repeated frustration every single summer, every time of year. And so this is my response to anyone who asks, like, when is the right time to market? It's, you gotta start. If you don't start and you wait, it's gonna cost you, especially for those seasons that feel like slumps. You really need to put your dance studio in a position to start getting in front of parents and start accumulating that interest. Even if they're not signing up today, you wanna build your interest list, try to fit them in for a tour, get them in for a trial. Even if there's no space available right now, you gotta offer that experience that parents can come in, get a feel for your staff, your studio, so that they feel confident and safe and they're trusting to sign up for whatever comes next. All right, so you can do that with trials, with tours, with trial events. You can do a demo class once a month where you just get a bunch of kids in the same age group together, do a little sample class, and get them committed to whatever's coming up next if there's nothing available now. Hope that helps clarify just some of the mindset around this and how you can avoid the seasonal slumps and use your dollars the right way. Thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe for more dance studio marketing tips just like this.